YouTube, how you doing? It is your boy Pete Timescreen Nethercoat right back here on the channel today, and we're having a quick kind of vlog but not update thing. So, for those of you who know me outside of the wonderful world of YouTube, I have been gone not long ago to Preachcon, my very first Preachcon over in Manchester. It's held by Mike Lamb of Preach Gaming and their entire team. And it's brilliant. It's been going for, I think it's about 7 years, I think, but this is my first one that I've been to. Essentially, I've been following Preach Gaming since, like, the end of Cataclysm and, like, the really early stages of Mists. So it was fun to actually try to get there for once. It's been something I've been trying to get to for years, and my guild leader in Warcraft, Tobin, is also a big fan of Preach, and that's who I went with, him and his partner Lottie. I was staying with them. We went up there. It was a fantastic time. Made a lot of new friends. It got to meet some of the Warcraft and not so much Warcraft YouTube personalities that like have appeared on like the Race to World First type stuff, and got to have a quick chat with everybody. It was like a 2-day event. Which is not unheard of, but the structure I was a little bit wary of as someone who has been part of the organisation of Summer of Sonic. I've gone to CoxCon when that's come over here with Jesse Cox and that, and yeah, so I was expecting like go there, it's a full day thing, and then I got told since it was a 2-day thing, I was expecting a full day thing on the second one. Essentially, when we got there, it was something that it was going to be the kind of what they did as a web show back in the day with bits and pieces, but it was an evening show, and essentially, like, everything on the first day is get there, meet, like, you see the rest of like the attendees, you meet up with friends if you've been previously, meet up with people I assume from the Discord and people you know that you've met just, you know, from the Twitch chat and the YouTube comments and the Discord and like the whole community and bits and pieces. I took it as an opportunity to try to get to know some people. It's pretty difficult to really do that in a kind of thing where people have been meeting each other for 7 years, and like I've only recently just joined like the Preach Gaming Discord, so that in itself was like, Discord is a weird thing in itself. Like, I've got my comfortable Discords, and then I've got Discords that are like part of online content creators, and you know, the ones you stay quiet in, but you lurk and you just do that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I mean, it started at like about 5 PM. I think everybody started going into the room, and you had the web show and everything else. Obviously stayed quite close with the people I was there with, met some of Tobin and Lottie's friends who they met previously. And I was sitting across the table from the Dungeon Dojo people, who I met, had a good conversation with. We talked about like WoW, and shockingly, because of the conversations I've had with them over the course of that Saturday, oh my goodness, I keep thinking it's a Weekendicon. It wasn't. It was went up on the Tuesday. It was a Wednesday Thursday con. That was it. Blimey, my days are stretched. So on the Wednesday night, we're talking to them across the table before the show actually began proper, like once everybody was settled, and talking to them about why I like quit WoW essentially, and like all the bits and pieces, and it got me back in my brain, especially with War Within like launching like next week. It really got into my head, like, do I want to come back and actually play semi-casually and just enjoy it again? And I've been thinking about it, and I have picked it up, and I've been doing the pre-patch stuff, so I'll probably try and catch some of the Dungeon Dojo stuff if I can. I know they're over on Twitch. I haven't seen if they got socials. Entertainingly enough, we do have some common friends that we do know in Marty and Tom. They were previously Dragon Powered Studios. I'm not sure if that's still a thing, but I know that they are doing, I believe it is Talking WoW. So yeah, Marty and Tom are part of Talking WoW. They also do D&D over at the Crowded Tavern with a couple of other folks I know, like Amanda and bits and pieces, who I've known pretty much quite a while way through my WoW times. That goes back to when I was podcasting about WoW, way back when. Such a long time ago to really think about it. But the reason like I followed Preach Gaming is because I find like if you're playing WoW for such a long time, there's always an expansion. Like you get a bit tired of how the expansion goes, especially back in the Cataclysm days. And then you find a content creator who kind of renews it, and that's how I found Preach and everything around that sort of situation that was going on there. And essentially, I've been following Preach since then. And essentially, the actual reason why I enjoy Preach Gaming so much and Mike's content so much is because there's a lot of what Mike said about guild and raid leading is why I decided when we server hopped back in at the beginning of Mists to join another guild, and essentially our first night of raiding, we wiped all night on the Stone Lions, which was terrible. But then they wanted someone to step up to the plate, and eventually I took up that charge, and we, as a raid leader, managed to take that guild from wiping on the first boss in Mists of Pandaria to taking realm firsts from, I believe it was Garalon, all the way up. We didn't get them all, but we got them all, but went all the way up to getting Garrosh in Heroic 25 before Mythic was a thing, and then we obviously got the Mythic one as well. So, shockingly, all of those videos are still up on the channel to this day, all the Realm First ones. And another big thing, one of the big people I wanted to meet at going to PreachCon was actually Jono. And the reason for that is because when I was raid leading back in Mists, Jono actually raided with us for a small period of time on his Hunter, I believe. So that was cool. It was great to finally meet him because Jono did pop into my Twitch when I was streaming back in the day. It was a bit of the Warcraft coverage when we did the challenge modes and everything else. So it was great to actually, while I've seen pictures of Jono at previous PreachCons, it was nice to actually meet the guy. We had a quick chat when there was time because he's a very busy guy, especially with that sort of thing, making sure that he's part of the team and make sure everything's going. So that was a good thing. That was someone what I said to Tobin is that was the one person who, more than all the big guests, like Mike and that, Vanish was the one guy I really wanted to meet, and it was just a flash in the pan type thing. I managed to catch him the first day before we actually got into the convention proper, and that was a fantastic time. We got a chance to get a picture later on, and yeah, it was just good just catching people around the room. As I said, we spoke to Dungeon Dojo guys. They were really cool. Managed to get a picture with them on the second day. But otherwise, like throughout most of day 2, where they had all the events like the 5v5 and everything else, it was just a fun thing actually watching like a lot of everything that was going on. And I actually managed to get a couple of minutes with Preach, and I especially wanted to ask him some content creation advice, especially regarding the Race to Good charity stuff that we used to do, and kind of bringing it back with, you know, in a post-pandemic kind of thing, with everything about moving on from, you know, the Andy, who we used to do it with, because we've, those who know, those who don't, it's not worth getting into. But yeah, I had a fantastic time. I'm already making plans to try to get back to PreachCon next year. As always, monetary things and timing are always going to be a thing, and we'll find out close to the time. But altogether, like, the biggest things I wanted to do was have fun with Tobin and his partner Lottie, who I spent a lot of time with, and haven't done so in over a decade at this point. So that was a lot of fun. Got to meet Jono, which was fantastic. Got some time with Preach. Got some time with like all the guests. There was like Fat Boss Alex. There was OK Mage, Novel, Josh Strife Hayes was also there. Managed to get a quick chat in there. Novel was one I had a longer conversation with, but that's because, you know, I managed to catch up with Novel like when Novel still had a Facebook, like way back when Novel was first starting out, before he was doing like all the big like WoW lore stuff. That was fun. There's a small anecdote which I will forever keep to myself and maybe relive one time here on the channel when we talk about stuff. But it was fantastic. Like we met Mrs. Preach as well. I mean, some we had a lot of fun on the evening of the first night, just sitting on the stage because it's slightly more comfortable, being at the ripe old age of 40 for me and a little bit older for some other people. And we were just sitting on the stage all night and just giving thumbs up to people as they walked past. And it was just a lot of fun, and it just became a little thing. There was some really weird electronic music playing on the Tuesday night. A couple of us just got on the stage and just started just dancing like crazy people. You know, just because you can. It's that sort of thing. It's it was really interesting because as I'm getting older, I find my extrovert battery kind of fading a little bit, but my battery levels were pretty high throughout all of the event, and I didn't have a problem. It would have been nice to really break out a little bit more and meet a few new people, but you know, for the people I did meet, it was a lot of fun, and I look forward to meeting those people again if I go back next year and it happens again. So yeah, big thanks to Preach and the team for putting that on. It was really interesting as a convention to go to. Really different from anything I've been to previously. Yeah, I'm going to keep watching Preach. If you like WoW, well, it's not even just WoW anymore because he does a variety of content. He has done for a while. If you like someone who covers MMOs and is pretty knowledgeable about it and gets his feet dipped in, yeah, go take a look at Preach's content. I'll have it plugged in at the end. In fact, if I'm a smart cookie and I've done my editing properly, I'll have links to channels as I've mentioned them as we go through. So yeah, but until next time, as always, thank you very much for watching. Yeah, we'll see you again for some more content here on the channel with the daily uploads still going strong, even if I do a go at it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm Pete Timescreen Navigator from Project Phoenix Productions. Until we see each other again, take care, stay safe, and play more games.